everyone. My name is Rozálie Ryčlová, not Ed Gamel. And I am the co-founder of Thermulon. And as Juliet said, I would like to share a few key... Thank you. Yeah, better. I would like to share with you three key takeaways about innovating in the built environment. And that is why we even care about the built environment and innovation in buildings from a climate perspective. What are the barriers to innovating in buildings, because they do exist? And of course, what can we as a community do about it? So, first thing is, why do we care about innovation in buildings? Well, because they're such a big part of the carbon footprint. In the UK alone, 20% of the carbon footprint comes from buildings, and all of us are in a building right now, today, every day. All of us are stakeholders in this game. And there are reasons for optimism. So, between 2010 and 2019, we've actually reduced the annual carbon footprint by more than a quarter. That's amazing. 25 megatons of CO2 per year, less every year. And at the same time, there are also some cautionary notes. So we are making amazing progress, but we're just not making enough of it. By 2035, we need to be reducing by another 42 megatons per year, every year, to stay on track to our net zero carbon goals. And we simply are not on track. Actually, we plateaued at around 2015. On a temperature-adjusted basis, emissions from buildings haven't really moved much since 2015. So whatever we're doing right now, it's helped us, but we are simply not doing enough. We cannot stick with business as usual. We need to do something new. And the thing about construction is it gets quite a poor reputation about not being innovative, about moving slow, about there being lots of inertia. Some people say there simply isn't a strong culture of innovation in the industry, and that we're simply a bit too traditional. And some of that might hold true, but it doesn't really go to the core of the problem, and it doesn't help us solve it. And I'm going to introduce you to two concepts that really help explain why construction and buildings particularly are tricky. And they're cost overruns and fat tails. So if you've ever built anything, ever, you'll know that you're always at risk of the project getting delayed and of the project getting expensive. More expensive than you expected. I mean, the poster child for this always is the infrastructure project of the HS2. It was supposed to cost 33 billion. We're now at 71, more than double, and we're still counting. So construction projects are always at risk of really significant cost overruns. And while that's clearly an issue, that is not the whole story, because the whole story really emerges when we look at a portfolio of projects. And here I will lean on amazing analysis by Brian Potter. I'll happily share all the links with everyone. And that is the phenomenon of fat tails. So when we look at a portfolio of projects, we're going to see, I hope this is going to be a pointer. Yeah, we're going to see that roughly half of them are going to end up being more or less on budget. We're going to see that a small handful is going to be cheaper, say 10% cheaper. We're going to see that a much bigger handful is going to be 10% or so more expensive. And we're going to see that there's going to be still a very significant number of projects that are significantly more expensive, 20% or more. So when we look at the distribution, probability distribution of construction projects, we will not see a normal distribution. We will see a distribution that's skewed to the right, towards more expensive, more lengthy projects with big overruns. We're going to have some really, really fat tails. And this phenomenon, it holds across projects, it holds across studies, it holds across countries, it holds across portfolios. So when I'm working in construction and I'm asking myself, well, am I going to use this amazing novel technology? Well, the answer is, if this goes really, really well, this might be 10 or 20% cheaper. But if this goes really, really badly, I can end in one of those HS2 situations where the project ends up being, more than twice as expensive. So the core issue in our industry actually is people taking into account in their decision making the risk from those fat tails. So, now we know why we even care about innovating in buildings from a climate perspective. We now hopefully understand a bit better why that's actually quite hard to do. And now, so what? What can we do about it? So we at Thermulon, we have been developing building materials, advanced insulation materials that can help reduce the carbon footprint of the built environment. And over the past couple of years, we have actually come up with some ideas about what we can do. The first one is sandbox environments, just finding a place where we can team up with people and do projects that can fail. Because if there's a portfolio of projects and none of them fails, that's business as usual. A portfolio of projects that includes portfolio of failures, that's where innovation drive is coming from. And in construction, that may need to happen in a safe sandboxing environment. The second is collaboration. Spreading the costs, spreading the risks, and of course spreading the benefits is a huge part of our work. And last but not least, collaboration with funding bodies like Innovate UK or any other funding body that might come to mind is a huge part of the innovation environment, especially in hardware and in construction very notably. So why am I saying all this? Well, that's actually my call to action. So we have been innovating in the built environment for a number of years now, and we're now at a stage where we're really ready to scale up and work with more people, more partners. So this is my call to all of you. If you work in construction, in materials, in building chemicals, or other applications of insulation, engines included actually, please come, find me, speak to me, I'll whisper back. And we would love to team up, because there's one thing that's common across all the solutions that I've mentioned, which is we can never do it alone. If you are an innovator who is looking for other innovators, we'd love to speak with you. So we are looking for people who can help us make the low carbon transition in the building environment a reality, because the one common theme across all the talks, all the projects, and every single London Climate Connection talk I've ever been to is none of us can do it alone, but together we really can move the needle. Thank you for your time.